Hi, I'm the Smoking Elk, and today we are making cherry smoked beef cheek and chuck ragu. That's right, today's dish is going to be a gorgeous beef cheek and chuck ragu. We've got some lovely beef cheek, we've got a nice bit of beef chuck. We're going to be using a similar method to what we did for the smoky beef shin chilli. We're going to be smoking the meat over the sauce. I wouldn't say this was an authentic ragu. This is going to be indulgent, it's going to be rich, it's going to be melt in the mouth. This recipe is based on a recipe from Jamie Oliver's book, Jamie Cooks Italy, where he uses beef cheek. I've cooked it before with a beef cheek, I've not smoked it before, so we're going to try and get just a little bit of smokiness into the meat, into the sauce, into the ragu. I've got a feeling this is going to be good. A quick run through of the ingredients for today's ragu. You've got the classics. You've got a large diced onion, a couple of sticks of celery, finely diced, large carrot, finely diced. Got about 6 garlic cloves that we've crushed. We've got some bacon lardons. Use pancetta if you've got it, lardons if you haven't. We've got a bunch of herbs. These are from the garden. We've got some thyme, we've got some rosemary, we've got some sage and some basil. And all we've done is just put that in a bunch, tie it up, and that's just going to sit in the ragu, giving out all its flavour, and then we take that out at the end. Same with the bay leaves, a couple of bay leaves, salt and pepper, and then we've got a large beef cheek and some beef chuck here. You can just use beef chuck, you can use beef shin, you can use beef cheeks. I'm just using a mixture of cheek and chuck. See what kind of results we're going to get. Almost forgot to tell you, but we've also got some good quality olive oil, got some passata and some good quality red wine that we're going to, half's going to go in here and half we're going to drink with it, I would imagine. So that's the ingredients. Now let's take a look how we're going to set up the Kamado Joe Classic 3 for this cook. So Kamado Joe Classic 3, we've almost filled the fire basket. What we're going to do is pop a fire lighter in the middle and get that lit. While we're waiting for the Kamado Joe to come up to temperature, I'm just going to season the beef. These are nice big chunks of beef because we're going to shred it anyway. So just give it a good coating of kosher salt and a good coat of cracked black pepper. For this cook, we're going to be using the Petromax Dutch oven. A lot of people ask you what size Dutch oven I've got. This is the FT 4.5. I believe it's around about 4 litres. We're going to sit the Dutch oven above the small fire. We're going to be using the slow roller for this because we want to sweat down the veggies before smoking the meat over the top. What we're going to do is we're going to use a slow roller, and this is going to act. It's a windy day today. If I leave this open, with the fire open, within about 10 minutes we're going to have an absolutely roaring fire, and it's going to be too hot. The veggies, it's going to be too hot to cook the veggies, but more importantly, once the veggies are cooked and we want to put the meat in, the fire's going to be too big, and we're not going to be able to regulate the temperature as well as we'd like. So if you don't have the slow roller, all I do is close the lid down when the vegetables are sweating, just to try and keep that fire down. But for today, we're going to put the slow roller in place, and then the divide and conquer cooking system we're going to sit on top. So we've got a small fire going, we've got a slow roller in place, we've got a divide and conquer cooking system, and we're going to sit the Dutch oven into the accessory rack. So you can see we've still got plenty of airflow around there, but the fire is going to stay contained. It's going to be a good heat to sweat the veggies down, and then as soon as the veggies are done, we want to put the meat in. What we're going to do is we're going to pull this out, a couple of cherry wood chunks in there, pop that back into place there, put the grills on, meat over the top. I think this should work. First thing we want to do is cook down our lardons, render the fat, and try and crisp them up. Obviously pancetta, if you're using pancetta. Okay, so the bacon is just starting to crisp up. The fat's been rendering out slowly, so we're going to take this out. Next, just going to add a touch more oil into the pan to go with the bacon fat, about 2 tablespoons. And now we're just going to sweat the veggies down. So you've got your onion, carrot and your celery. We're going to cook that down for about 10 minutes or so. So that's your veggies, nice and soft. Go ahead and get your garlic in there. I'm going to cook that for another minute or two. Veggies soft, garlic ready. Get your lardons back in there, and then we're going to go in with about 500 ml of red wine, which we're going to reduce by about half. So we're just cooking the red wine down, reducing it by about half, cooking off that alcohol. So that's reduced down by half now. We're going to go ahead and add in 680 grams of passata and give that a good stir. Veggies are in, bacon's in, the wine's in, the passata is in, in go the herbs, the bay leaf. Just sit those in there. You also want to add in about 500 ml of water. We just rinse the passata bottle to get the rest of that passata out. So add that into the Dutch oven, and then because we're going to be smoking the meat, we're just going to pop the Dutch oven out for 2 seconds. We've got the grill running at about 250, which is perfect. So we're going to add a couple of cherry wood chunks to the edge of that fire. We're going to pop the Dutch oven back in. We're going to put the grills in place, and then we're going to sit the meat all around and over the Dutch oven. So we're going to take on that lovely cherry smoke. Like I said, we're sat at 250 in the Kamado, nice steady temperature, perfect. We're smoking this meat over the sauce. The sauce is going to simmer nicely. Fat is going to drip down from this meat into that sauce. I'm going to leave it about an hour and a half maybe, and then we're going to put the meat into the sauce and let it finish braising for another 2 to 3 hours. So that's that. I'm going to close the lid down, let that go. Been out of the house for 2 hours while we let the meat smoke, and the heavens have opened. Should have brought this undercover really, but sitting nicely, just over 200 Fahrenheit. It's been absolutely chucking it down. It's chucking it down now. The show must go on, so let's see where we are. Looking good. Nice colour on the meat. Certainly been taken on some of that cherry smoke. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take these grates off, we're going to pop that meat into the sauce and let it continue to braise for another 2 or 3 hours. Add the meat into the sauce, making sure it's all covered by the sauce, and then we're going to continue to cook this at a nice low temperature for probably 3, maybe 4 hours, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll leave it 2 hours and then we'll come back, keep an eye on it and see how we're getting on. But I'm happy with that. Going to be a nice bit of smoky flavour on that meat. Sauce smells good. Now we're going to pop the lid on, lid down, let that continue simmering away. So we're just over, well, about an hour and a half since we put the meat into the sauce. The sauce is quite thick, so we're just going to add about 250 ml of beef stock. And we've just moved the accessory rack from the low position up to the higher position, and that's the beauty of the divide and conquer system. So this is now sitting further away from the direct fire. Pop the lid on and back again in an hour. 5 hours into the cook, 2 hours of smoking the beef and 3 hours in the sauce. Check out the beef, how soft that is. I literally slice it with a spoon. That is exactly where we want to be. Bit of the cheek here, look. And just see. It's a bit difficult with one hand, but Let's look. That is what we're looking for. That is just shredding away with a spoon. We are good. So that's my take on the Jamie Oliver Jamie Cook's Italy book, his Ragu. We smoked the beef with cherry wood, give it a nice smoky little flavour, and this is the end result. As you can see, the meat is just falling apart and shredded. We've got a nice, thick, rich, unctuous Ragu. The smell is absolutely incredible. I mean, look at that, you just know that it's going to be good. So let's get some. Got some tagliatelle. Always eat your Ragu with tagliatelle, never with spaghetti. You want it to coat the pasta, you want the meat sauce to coat the pasta. So let's make ourselves a little bowl. Just look how good that is. You know, when meat falls apart like that, you know that is going to be fantastic. So there's the Ragu. Always top with Parmigiano Reggiano. Go for the best quality you can find. So a sprinkle of that on the top. And I can't wait any longer. We're going to have to dig in. So let's get a bit of the tagliatelle, bit of that sauce, bit of the Parmigiano. This is going to be messy. I really don't care. Oh my days. That is a proper grown-up Ragu, spaghetti bolognese, whatever you want to call it. Slight smokiness on the meat. Like I said, the meat's just falling apart, tender. The flavour, rich from the red wine, the tomato, the herbs have done their job. That is an absolutely fantastic dish. I advise you to give that a go. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again for watching. Please do hit subscribe. It means a lot to me for you to subscribe to my channel, for me to continue to grow the channel. I'll continue to make gorgeous, delicious dishes like this. That's all from me this week. I'll see you next time.